Yes, I agree with you too. Yes, when you do, like me, do Facebook application, it's quite easy to come up with some ideas because you see a lot of application every day, new application every day, and you want to make the similar one, but we don't have much resources, so we can only focus on those we have confidence, so and execute those one with confidence. So yes, it's quite similar to Calvin.
Yeah, so the main point is that startup resources are limited. You have to be focused in your idea and like try to make that work. Unless you keep getting negative feedbacks, then you might have to change direction. So that moves up to a point where, like, let's say you reach the crisis of meaning, like down that emotional roller coaster. You're at the lowest point of your, let's say startup life, and you feel really down, like everything is not working. How do you guys deal with that, and what kind of situation was that?
I think it's there are two types of entrepreneurs. One are those who get on the roller coaster and feel very excited every day, and they enjoy. They wait on, a long lineup, and they are excited about, wow, it's going to be a tremendous, wonderful roller coaster trip, right? And some other would be, those who are forced by friends or family pulling them on the roller coaster and not willing to sit at the very end or front and experience the entire roller coaster experience. So I think being an entrepreneur, you need to be devoted 100%. You need to love your job. You need to be able to control your emotional, no matter it's up or down. Crisis, I would say, starting a business is basically solving problems, okay? We solve problems for our clients, we solve problems for our customers, we solve problems for our partners. Every day it's about problems, and it's about crisis, it's about management. If you can't manage yourself, if you can't manage your partner or your staffs, it would be very difficult for you to start up a company. And for myself, I would come out with my friends and tell them my concerns, maybe talk to my parents. And the most important thing about starting up all my businesses is basically finding mentors. It could be your friend, it could be a teacher, it could be your parents, it could be anyone that could being able to share with you and teach you how to move on to another level. And when you encounter problems and crisis, there should be someone, or even God, that you could, express yourself and being able to help you to solve the immediate emotional issues. Yeah, this is my.
So can you maybe describe like one of the biggest hurdle or like one of the more memorable hurdles that you've cleared during the life of Daruzu, let's say?
Right. I think sometimes it's. For my experiences, when I started a company, it became very successful in the first 2 years, and suddenly, say, financial crisis came, and with 6 months without income or revenue, what should I do? Should I lay off everyone, close down the company, restart all over again? And these are all problems coming into my mind, and a little bit stuck back then. I would say this is like a year ago, when the market was really bad, and it's for myself. I just keep on thinking of the solution, and I believe that there should be a way out. And I talked to a lot of people, a lot of my friends. I would be frank, and it's not working. We need to change. What kind of solution would you able to help me? Actually, I learned how to ask for help. Back in when I started my company, back after I graduated, I was always have my ego, or I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to offer. I just want to be alone all the time. But then afterwards, nowadays it's more about sharing. It's more about actually, if you would be surprised if you ask someone for help and they do really would like to help you. So that's my experience.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, ask for help, people.
Yes, I have experienced a very difficult time when I do my startup. So it was 1 year ago. At the beginning, I do e-card business. So it's a a e-card site which allow all users to create their own e-card and then share their e-cards. And that is Pencake.com. At that time, I know that there are already some key players in US, like American Greeting, Blue Mountain. And I didn't see that they are so large. And later on, I found that I cannot compete with them because of limited capitals. So we experienced low incomes for more than 20 months. And you know, I'm quite impulsive and crazy. I don't have much preparation before I do my startup. I just have few $1,000 maybe in the beginning, and I don't have any money in my bank account. It's single digit in my bank account. I don't know why it's possible. It's 9.9 something. So I don't have money for my mother, and you know, I start with my company with my brothers. So all two brothers go to do crazy things and no money for my mother. So it's hard because no one support me. My friends talk to me and ask me to give up. My mother asked me to give up, and she will cry in the midnight. And I don't know how I can go through these challenges, but I talk to myself. I want to try because it's, you know, this is my company. I want to focus, and I talk to my brothers. I think because I don't have any money, and I would say I will try for 2 more months, and then try to do everything that we can earn a little bit money. Sometimes I will go to do tutorial to the Form 6, 7 student to earn some money. And we try to do Facebook applications, iPhone applications, or any platform applications. So we found a way to see some money. So I agree with you. You say we look for helps. Of course, we look for helps because I'm one of the incubators in Science Park. So we look helps from Science Park. And we also look the assistance from my universities. And at the same time, we also contribute. We do social service, and we use our technology to contribute to societies. And sometimes there will be some articles talking about us, although that doesn't make us any money, but it's already a huge motivation. So I think I can go through the challenges because there is always some motivation at different times. So it's a bit lucky, but if you don't try, and you see nothing.
I think our experience is not that dramatic. I'm too old for that. I think within the co-founders team, there are people who are a little bit more paranoid. That is me, and we always anticipate crisis, and we always think about, you know, what's our plan B. I think that situation happened to us, I think maybe probably 6 months after we were founded. Initially, we were relying on advertising revenue on our Facebook apps, and it was actually very good. But then we see that the hurdle for doing an application on Facebook is really, really low. I mean, a 2-person or even 1 person can throw up an application. So we already kind of anticipate that the supply of inventory on Facebook ad is going to be like expanding crazy. So the CPM rate is just going to go down. So we kind of anticipate that, and then we ask ourselves, what are we going to do? So we decided to kind of like change our strategy and not just rely on advertising, but really to start expanding on direct user payment. So that direct user payment model actually has been around in Asia for a long time. If you play MMORPG games, usually it's like, you know, free to play, but you have to pay more for the virtual items. But it's very new in the Western world. But we see that potential, and it's coming up. So we started that, and it turned out to be quite successful. So I think we have to anticipate what's going on. We always have to be paranoid and think about, you have to be flexible, and you always have to navigate around your problems. So that's the kind of like crisis that we kind of experienced, and we anticipated that.
In my younger days, at times of crisis, I used to go to Lang Kwai Fong. But nowadays, I go home and I play with my two girls. But my point really is that that's when as a leader, as the co-founder, if you're the CEO, that's where you really need to stand up and you really need to be there for your staff. And the reason why I go home and play with my kids is because I look at them and I said, hey, if I don't do this, I don't have a living, my girls don't eat. And so, you know, the way I've always run my business, I agree with Andy that it's 110% commitment. Because for everyone that you employ, there's an average of 1.5 to 2 other people that depend on those people's salaries. And so if you walk away today, we employ 80 people, we're letting down at least 160 others. So that's my motivation for saying, hey, it's a crisis, you know, you can either deal with it or you can just walk away. So we've taken the route of, you know, dealing with it. So we had one at the start of this year. You know, we lost one of our biggest publishers. It was quite a big part of our revenue and profits. And so I sat back and I said, what are we going to do? You know, I'm not letting 160 or even 200 people down. And so we said, let's go on. And so, you know, we're very lucky. We have a very good a group of employees who have been very loyal. They've been a long time. So we all sat down and we said, you know, this is kind of what we're going to do. We threw out ideas and all that. And so we've kind of come out of it. You know, we're still around, we're expanding. But, you know, crises as an entrepreneur, you're always going to get. It could be the biggest crisis. It could be the smallest ones. The key is you've really got to be committed, and you've really got to work through it. Yes, sometimes it comes to the end of the line, but you've at least got to say, I gave it a shot. You know, otherwise you just be letting people down.
Yeah, that's very good advice. So let's say like, you know, like you were mentioning, talking about